Hey y'all, welcome back to Kelly's Kitchen. So tonight it is Friday, yay! I decided to do something different that I haven't done before, but one of my good friends, Emily, I don't know if you're watching, hello, she makes this often and it always sounds so good. I'm like, you know what, I want to do that. So I'm trying my hand at it, and what it is Copycat KFC Bowls here at home. So I have a little bit of mess going on, and mine are going to be slightly different because I'm adding peas. I'll explain why. You saw yesterday's video, I made pork chops and mashed potatoes and peas. I have leftover peas. So I'm going to go ahead and end up heating these up and adding them to our bowls. It's an extra vegetable. Like, what's the harm? And then instead of making homemade mashed potatoes again, I still have plenty of leftover mashed potatoes, so I'm actually just going to reuse these in order to use up my leftovers and not have too much waste. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to skip the mashed potato making. So if you do it yourself, you can, if you don't have mashed potatoes already made, you can either make homemade, you can use instant, whatever makes your heart happy. Or the Bob Evans little containers, whatever works. If y'all have never had a KFC bowl, they're actually pretty good. What it is, it's a bowl, and it has mashed potatoes, corn, and then it has like popcorn chicken, and then their chicken gravy and shredded cheese kind of melted on it. That's what it is. So do the same concept. I got the mashed potatoes that I already showed y'all. We're gonna add some peas though, just to make it fun. I got some frozen super sweet corn. I think I've told you before, I like super sweet corn. I like the sweetness it adds to the savory. It's just a balance thing. So I'm going to end up heating that up. I have shredded cheese. For my chicken, I am using the boneless, skinless breast strips. Now you can use tenderloins. You can use boneless chicken wings from the frozen section. You can use chicken tenders. You can use chicken nuggets if you want it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it, which is going to be with chicken breast strips. So I'm going to go ahead and get my dredging station all ready, and I'm going to go ahead and prep the chicken tenders. Alright, y'all, so I'm trying to minimize my amount of dishes here, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to grab a deep bowl. I'm going to go ahead and crack in one egg. I have it in paper towel, sorry. That's how I crack it. But I'm going to go ahead and crack one egg into this bowl. Ooh. All right, and I'm gonna add to that some heavy whipping cream. You of course could do milk. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any milk. So I just went to the store, but we don't usually have milk unless I need it. So I had heavy whipping cream, that was fine. That was probably about third a cup maybe with the egg. And then I'm going to add in a few dashes of Louisiana hot sauce because I like it spicy. Now, of course, you don't have to add in any hot sauce if you don't want it spicy. That is totally fine. It's no big deal. I forgot a fork. Let me grab a fork real quick. All right, got my fork so I can whisk that in a minute. Anyways, I'm going to finish seasoning this. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some salt to taste. Probably about half a teaspoon. Some ground black pepper to taste. We're going to go half a teaspoon to a teaspoon on all these. Some garlic powder. Some onion powder. Just a dash of some ground white pepper. And some smoked paprika. You're probably going to see that with the light, sorry. Smoked paprika. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my fork and just whisk that all together. Obviously, don't whisk it too much because you don't want to turn that heavy whipping cream into whipped cream. Okay, because this is not going to be a delicious whipped cream. Alright, so just got that whisked up a little bit there. Okay. And then, I'm just going to put my fork in the sink. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my kitchen shears. If you don't have kitchen shears, y'all, I highly recommend investing in them because they are like the best thing ever. So what I'm going to do is I opened up my chicken breast tenderloins, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them into chunks into my egg mixture, okay? And I'm doing this just to make my life easier and already have them starting to coat, because I'm going to do the flour mixture in a gallon Ziploc bag. Again, I'm not trying to dirty a bunch of dishes, so. But I want to have some chunks, but I don't want them too big. I want them about bite size. So I'm just going to go through and cut all my little chicken breast strips. I'm also going to cut off any fat. I don't want that. Into bite-sized pieces. And then I'll come back to y'all once I get all this cut up. Alright, I got my chicken all cut up into the wet mixture. So I'm just going to go ahead and just toss that chicken in there. Get it all nice and coated. Okay. Looks about like that. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and set the chicken aside to let it soak in that marinade for a second, while I go ahead and get my dry mixture prepared in a gallon Ziploc bag. Alright, I got my gallon Ziploc bag here. This just makes it easier to toss it all at once, and it ain't no dirty dishes. So, hallelujah for that. I do enough dishes. I don't feel like doing extra, right? Right, okay. So first thing I'm going to do is throw in some all-purpose flour. I'm just going to start with a half a cup and let me look at it. I'm probably going to do a full cup just to make sure I have plenty for the chicken bites. We'll call them that. Okay. Let's put that aside. And then now we're going to season our flour, because you always want to season your egg wash and season your flour. So, going to season it first with some salt. And I don't know, we're going to go 1.5 to 2 teaspoons. That sounds good. Some ground black pepper. Already know. Always got to put that salt and pepper in there. Same amount, about 1 to 2 teaspoons. Probably about a tablespoon of onion powder. About a tablespoon of garlic powder. About 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. Actually, I lied. Let's make that a tablespoon. Let's make it a tablespoon. And then we're going to add about a teaspoon of ground white pepper. And I want to add one more thing. 1 second. You already know I got to add some cayenne pepper. So, of course, if you don't want it spicy, you don't got to add it. I'm doing probably about half a teaspoon, but do as little, as much, or as none as you want. Alright, so I got that all in there. I'm just going to go ahead and close my bag so nothing flies out. I'm going to go ahead and shake that around, get my flour all kinds of seasoned. Alright, so then there you have it. It's some seasoned flour. Looks beautiful. I'm going to give it a little smell. Smells good. Okay. Alright, so I already went ahead, after I cut my chicken, I'm going to phrase that, before I cut my chicken into the wet mixture, I did go ahead and pour some canola oil, probably about this deep, into a large skillet, and I have it heating up on medium heat. Yeah, medium heat, so that it gets nice and hot. That way it has time to heat up before I get my chicken over there. Okay, now you're more than welcome to let your chicken marinate in this egg and milk mixture for a while before you dredge it. I didn't do this ahead of time, so and it's already kind of late because long day. Usually we eat kind of late on Fridays because life, you know. And Fridays is also when I do my grocery shopping. I used to do them on Saturday, but I decided I started doing it on Fridays because it actually makes my life a heck of a lot easier if it's already done. Alright, so now as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and let my chicken drain a minute from this mixture, and I'm just going to toss it into the oil. Or not oil, God, flour. I'm sorry, y'all. My brain doesn't always work. As I can do, I clearly do this on a whim, and I'm definitely not a professional. I mean, I don't edit these videos. I literally film them and pause them and make one large video, and then I just watch it before I post it, just to make sure I don't sound like a total idiot. Though sometimes I do. I'm sorry. But yeah, y'all get me like totally raw, like this chicken, raw. And that's because I want to be real with y'all. I mean, I feel like a lot of cooking shows are, I don't know, kind of fake. And I want y'all to see, you know, all the bloopers as I go. Because there are a lot of those. A lot of times I'm like, oh man, I forgot this, I forgot that. I mean, I tell you that all the time. Or I say the wrong thing. It happens. But, you know, you just kind of go with it. And I know I'm just totally having a conversation with y'all right now, and y'all can't even respond, but that's okay. I'm used to talking to myself. It's no big deal. I'll have a few more chicken pieces left in here. Just want to make sure I get it all. Ooh. Oh, there's one more in there. Okay. So I'm just going to set that aside. And I know I made a mess with that. Look at me making a total mess. You want to try not to make a mess if you can, but you know, we're gonna get a little chaotic up in here. I'm not perfect. I know I've heard some people say that they think I am just because I cook every night. I'm like, no, I just love food. Okay, I love food, and I love my food specifically. I don't like to spend a whole lot of money out on food, so I cook at home. And also, it's just cheaper, it tastes better, and then I don't have to get out and go through traffic and all this, and no one's going to mess up my order if I cook it, right? Okay. So now I'm just, as y'all can see, tossing this chicken in that flour mixture. Just getting all the pieces of chicken nice and coated. If you prefer to do this in bowls and individually coat everything, you are more than welcome to do it that way if you don't mind all the dishes. Clearly I don't mind that much on dishes because I do them every day. I cook every day, but I, you know, like to minimize them where I can, right? All right, so I got that all tossed. I think it's good. I'm just trying to check it, but it's hard to see. Yeah, there we go. That's nice and tossed. I'll show you what it looks like. See? Look how pretty. Little chickies. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and get y'all over to that side of the kitchen so that we can start frying our chicken and making our gravy. Alright, y'all. So my grease is nice and hot. I can smell it. I can see it moving. So it's ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and start dropping in very gently my chicken. And I actually have a spoon here. Sometimes it's easier to put it on a spoon first. And you know it's ready whenever flour falls into that grease and it starts sizzling. So I'm just going to gently put my chicken pieces. It's not too bad. Okay. Let's do that. Alright, so I'm slowly putting a few of the chicken pieces at a time. And then I have a plate over here lined with some paper towels for after they're done. So, take this apart a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to let those fry up and turn them after in a few minutes. So I'm going to let these get all golden brown. And while those are going, I'm going to go ahead and start on my gravy. So I'm going to turn my little pot here to medium heat. And I'm going to throw in, use this dude. I'm going to throw in, let's do like 3 tablespoons of butter. I'll let that melt in there. And I'm going to let that melt, let this start cooking. And I'll come back once the butter is melted. Oh, and I am going to go ahead and start heating up some stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the corn in the microwave and get that all steamed according to the directions on the bag. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and start turning my chicken pieces. Turning them over so that Both sides get fried nice and golden brown. Actually kind of satisfying. Is that weird? I don't know, but it's fine. Kind of fun. I've never fried chicken this small before, so it's kind of exciting. Okay. Kind of looks like Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. Doubt it tastes anything like it, but it kind of looks like them. Alright, got my butter all melted, so now I'm going to add in about 3 tablespoons of flour. So I'm just measuring it with like a regular spoon here. You can use an actual tablespoon if you prefer, but I was too lazy to get that out. So throw that in there and whisk it around in that butter. Make a nice little roux thing. Alright, and now we're just going to start adding in some chicken broth. I'm going to pour in, I'm going to start with, let's see, let's do about a cup to start. Mix it all around. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add in a little ground black pepper, and I'm holding off on the salt until it gets a little thicker so I can taste it, because I use salted butter and this is not low sodium chicken broth. So I want to make sure that I don't use too much salt in it because I don't want it too salty, right? So I got that all whisked together. I'm just going to watch that and keep whisking it to get it nice and thick. And I think my chicken's ready for me to take it out and put in another batch. Okay, so the corn was done, so I went ahead and pulled that out. I went ahead and threw my mashed potatoes into the microwave just to start getting those heated. My gravy is getting nice and pretty and thick. Yes, I know this is not the same color as the gravy from KFC. That's okay, it's still a chicken gravy. Okay, gravy's gravy. Okay. And then on the chicken, I'm going to show y'all, this is the first batch. Look how pretty those are. Oh, sorry. I'm very proud of them. Okay. I have my second batch in here going. And now I'm just going to grab a spoon and taste this gravy. It's getting nice and turn that on low. And let me taste my gravy. Alright, the gravy is good. It does need a little salt though, so I'm going to go in and add a little bit. It's probably about half a teaspoon. Whisk that in there. And this is getting a little thick on me, so I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit more chicken broth. Probably about another 1/4 cup. Because I want it to be a gravy, but I don't want it too thick, you know. I want it to just drizzle onto the Copycat KFC bowl. Alright, now we're going to taste this again. Now to put some salt in it. Hot. Delicious. Okay. So I just have that on low just so it stays nice and hot. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my chicken. Alright, the mashed potatoes are done in the microwave, so I put them over there. I did move the corn into a bowl, and I put lids on them to keep the heat in so they didn't get like cold. I got my peas in there. They are about done for me to stir and check on. Just going to turn that off so y'all don't hear it. This chicken is done, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and add in my last batch. Okay, my last batch of chicken is all in. And as I'm still watching this gravy, I'm going to add a little bit more. So in total, it probably comes out to about 1.5 cups of chicken broth to the 3 tablespoons of butter and 3 tablespoons of flour. So I just want it to be nice and runny, you know what I mean? Alright. And we tasted the chicken. It is delicious, y'all. So I highly recommend this recipe. So good. Oh, there's the peas. Those are done now. So yep, now we're just waiting on the chicken. It just has to be flipped here in a few minutes, and then it'll take another few minutes on the other side. In general, I mean, you just kind of watch it till it's golden brown. Since the chicken was thin strips in the first place, and then I cut them into chunks, it's not taking that long to cook. So a few minutes on each side, you know, 3 to 5 minutes each side. Flip it. Make sure it's nice and golden brown. Done. It's good to go. Alright, so I went ahead and flipped my chicken. It's looking beautiful, so I'm just going to let that finish up here in the next few minutes. And then for reference of cheese, I like to use the extra sharp cheddar from Walmart. We like a stronger bite to our cheese, so that's why we use the extra sharp. I know y'all can't like really see me, I'm sorry. Here we go. But yeah, that's what we're using. So once this chicken is done, we're going to go ahead and plate up the bowls, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all put together. Alright, y'all, and here you have a homemade KFC bowl. Enjoy.